inclusionary zoning?
They're gonna be amending it again anyway, so it's not gonna last. They haven't presented anything. It came before us, because we referred it to them, it was supposed to be done, but it's not.
The meeting will come to order. The clerk will call the roll.
All right, this is the Committee on Community Business and Development. This is Monday, January 23rd, 2017. We're at 6 p.m. I have Councilor Frank Capone.
Here.
I have Councilor John Hanlon.
Here.
I have Councilor Rosa DeFlorio.
Here,
We have 3 members present. We do have a quorum.
please stand and pledge allegiance. The audience can also stand with us. Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk, please read the orders.
Thank you.
All right. The first piece of business is a petition for a second-class motor dealer license. This is a new application. Doing business as Carlina USA LLC at 353 3rd.
If the clerk could please take both, because these are both at the same address, and there is an issue. So if the clerk could please read item number 2. All in favor? All opposed?
All right, item number 2.
Who made the motion, though?
Item number 2, this is a petition for a renewal of a second-class motor dealer at the same location at 353rd 3rd Street, doing business as Boston Auto Brokers.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
Is the petitioner for the item number 2 present?
Is the petitioner here for item number 2?
No. No, okay. As I understand it, Madam Chairman, this petition is no longer at that location. I think the thing was filed long before he left, so it should not be voted on it at all. So I'd like at this time to make a motion for unfavorable action on that item number 2.
Does this have to be, does this have to be, yeah, have the, why don't we have the assistant clerk up? Yeah, have the,
It's okay, I'm done.
can we have the assistant clerk up? Okay.
Yep, please.
All in favor? All opposed?
Good evening, Sergio Cornelio, Assistant City Clerk. I do not have the actual paperwork in front of me, just so you know, but both petitioners have been before us. So originally, when I caught that two people were asking for the same license, I put it aside and requested that you present this to this board. Michael has them downstairs. Here's the other petitioner. So the second petitioner, who currently holds the license, has not relinquished the license. So for us to to allow another petitioner to go on the same property without him relinquishing his license, and he has applied for the license and has not stated that he has an intent not to do business there. I have nothing from the property owner that says that he does not have a current lease. I don't know how we can overrule that he is already the current licensee on the property, and that's why I asked this to come before committee. We cannot have 2 licenses on the same property. That's our zoning ordinances do not allow that. So just so you know what the situation was in the clerk's office, we were not going to put you in a position where you're going to vote for 2 licenses for the same property, and then the city's in trouble. So I wanted it to come here and be spoken about with both property owner and the 2 petitioners. So we had a better idea of what was going on.
Okay, thank you.
Just so you know.
Counsel Hanlon?
Yes, through you to our assistant clerk. Any license, not these licenses, including these, any license, when does the license run out?
There's different timing. So
Well, then.
motor dealers run out at December 31st of each year. They have a 30-day grace period for your licensing. Lodging, January 1st. Repair in March. And we have many other licenses. Redemption is also currently now. These are the 3 that are going on now. Redemption, lodging, and motor dealer are all January 31st, January 1st, December 31st. So that's why you're seeing so many on your agenda tonight.
So then there's actually, that if the time runs out on December 31st, there's no one that actually has a license at that property.
Well, we give a 30-day grace period as part of our thing, so technically, he has a license until
That's
the end of
understandable.
January, then that's what we, it's in our ordinances. It's a 30-day grace period.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Counselor Capone?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to Assistant Clerk. So if I have it correctly, right now, the petitioner listed for item number 2 is the individual that holds a license.
Correct.
Okay, and we have no indication that business has not terminated yet?
Correct. He is in the audience, so if you wanted to,
Yep.
obviously, I can't answer to,
Sure.
I haven't seen anything, so you could,
Okay.
obviously, you may want to ask him to come up and,
From your
Make a
perspective,
statement.
if we have 2 separate entities that are claiming entitlement to this, without proof of a lease or something of that nature, we're really going to need the property owner to come forward
Who he-
and identify who
Correct.
is in and who is out.
correct, and that's
Until
why
then,
we
really
invited the
shouldn't do
property owner. Yep, correct. And
Okay.
he's here, the property
property
owner.
owner is here.
Property owner and both the new and current licensee are
Okay.
all here, so that's, we
Alright.
invited everyone
Oh,
for this
good,
purpose.
Good, all right, thank you. I have no other questions.
Yeah, no
For
problem.
the clerk.
Any other questions? No questions, excuse with the customary thing, or do we keep?
Do you want me to stay just in case?
Yes, just in
I'll
case,
sit on the
yeah.
side and let,
Please.
Okay,
Madam Chairman, I think that the proper person to speak to would be the property owner. And
Okay.
let's find out exactly who the occupant is, and then we can go from there. We could talk to each of the petitioners.
right, okay.
and the
so
property
could-
owner is behind me, it's
so if we
Mr.
could
Rocco
have, The
Vigorito.
property owner, Rocco Vigorito, come up
Thank you.
and state your name and address, please, for the record.
Rocco Vigorito, 4 Partridge Lane, Saugus, Mass.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Mr. Vigorito. So we have 2 petitioners for the same exact property. You're the owner. Are either one or both of them in any kind of a contractual arrangement with you?
Just one.
Which one is that? Is that
The new guys, the old
Mr.
guys,
Camargo?
Okay.
Jose Camargo.
Okay. So now, Mr. Lima, was there a lease that expired? or-
There was a lease that he abandoned.
Okay, what happened? From your perspective, what happened?
He stopped paying the lease September.
Okay. And at that point, was he properly evicted? Or just,
He disappeared.
okay, he just left?
Yes,
Okay. And that was in September?
yes.
He hasn't paid any rent or anything of that?
No.
Okay,
I've released the place since then.
okay. And you released it and you have a lease arrangement with Mr. Camargo?
Yes.
Okay. And what's the date of that lease?
January 1st.
Okay, so this year, and is it a multi-year lease or?
It's
is it
3 years.
3 years. Okay, did you ever get anything, I understand Mr. Lima abandoned the lease, did you ever get anything in writing from him in terms of his intent, or no?
Many phone calls went unanswered. Had no idea where he is at.
Disappeared and you said, okay, hey,
Correct.
I got a visit to run.
Correct.
Okay, I don't have any other questions, thank you.
No, except that, that's the former owner, you're identifying?
Yes.
Yes.
This is the new one?
Oh, yeah.
These are the new guys, and that's the former
Okay.
renter,
Wanna make sure I know.
tenant,
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
For Mr. Vigorito, I don't have any other questions.
Thank you.
I'd like to have the old one,
Yeah,
Mr.
Lima.
Mr. Lima. Mr. Lima.
Good evening.
Thank you.
Sit and state your name.
My name is Malcolm Lima. I'm the owner, president, Boston Auto Brokers, located at 353 3rd Street in Everett. I resident at 55 Hood Street in Lynn, Mass. No, we did not abandon the property. That's a liar. We have agreement with the new buyers we are in exchange for. In the meantime, until the license was supposed to be transferred to them, they are paying the rent. Mr. Vigorito never sent me a letter or nothing, not to me or to my lawyers, to rescind the lease. My cell phone is here, all my records. As a matter of fact, we did have a meeting at the premises in November to deal with the other matters, and he's been calling me every on the 1st to get the payments done. Nevermore, that's fine. We do have agreement between me and car leader, which we are released the
Between you and who?
car leader.
Carly USA, that's the DBA on the,
Okay. We have a agreement between me and Dan for the inventory, for the furniture and everything. And I do want a relinquishing the license to Dan. But just for the record, the lease was never broken. We still pay. From September to now, the monthly payment has been done, was not past due or anything. They pay because they stay at the property. I went to different ventures, but, you know, we don't have no more interest in and continue doing the used car business. So I just want to clarify, the city is being very welcome to my business. You know, unfortunately, we decided to a different ventures, but the lease was never broken, and we are not have no more interest in continue doing the business there. So we don't have no more interest on the license. And between me and them, we do have agreement, a financial agreement for the furniture, for everything, include for the lease, you know. And that's, I was the one who approached them to Mr. Vigorito to transfer the lease and everything. So I just want to clarify, I don't like the property was abandoned because that was not what happened.
Thank you.
Any
If we
questions?
stay for a moment until they have.
I heard Mr. Vigorito say that you had disappeared, and apparently you're here, so you haven't disappeared.
No.
But for the fact, have you been in touch with him during that time period?
Yes, yes, I have all my mails. I get all my mails that I receive. The corporation has been changed to them, changed back. I did have all the inspection done at the property when I applied for the license. So, no, the property was not abandoned.
Okay.
All-
The other thing I'm interested in, you said you had an agreement with Mr. Camargo?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and that agreement was for the furniture and such?
For the furniture and some equipment that we have at the property,
Okay.
tools and other stuff.
You also said the lease.
We broke the lease. We introduced them to Mr. Vigorito. Was not just, I disappear on thin air, and no. We tried to work it out, the price for the lease, work it out, the first payment, the down payment, or whatever that was there. And they come to agreement. It was different lease than what I have with him, price-wise and everything. But since I was leaving the property, I just tried to transfer my lease to them. The first idea was then to purchase Boston Auto Brokers Incorporation and continue to do the lease. But they decide to, down the road, to start a new corporation and get a new lease from Mr. Vigorito.
How is, I'm sorry, I can't say it. How is that gentleman going to work there without actually having a license then?
That's why we waiting to December when the license was transferred, you know. In the meantime, so they can have a rough idea how the business run, they did work under my license, under my supervision. They did sold vehicle from September to almost December under my license. So we have a partnership agreement with that. When I allow them, say, listen, I'm on the transport car business right now. So I say, listen, I gonna try a new venture. You guys wanna buy in? But you can either do the transfer the license right now under Boston Auto Broker, transfer your name, or you can change a new corporation and start a new license, but you're gonna need a new lease.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Counsel Capone?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to Mr. Lima. So you said that you broke the lease. You didn't disappear, but you broke the lease. When did you do that?
I broker the lease.
Oh, you brokered it?
Yes.
Okay. So payments have been made since September?
Yes.
Because the property owner was saying that from September to present, they weren't paid.
No?
You're- Well, before we get into the ins and outs of proof of payment, is the lease, is the license arrangement of any kind of monetary value between you and Mr. Camargo, or is it all limited to furniture and things of that nature?
It is limited to assets from the company.
Okay,
Okay, we sold the asset from the company. We sold the name, we sold the website, the telephone numbers and everything.
okay,
And of course, the license is asset from the company.
okay. If,
No debt is being transferred to them.
okay, if, and we can have Mr. Camargo come forward. If the arrangement that you folks have, if the license is not transferred over and gets the license issued to him rather than renewed to you, if that doesn't affect the monetary transfer between the parties, it should be of no impact if we don't renew your license. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right, so I appreciate that. I don't have any other questions for Mr. Lima, but I ask you to stay in the hall just in case. And unless my colleagues have any questions, I would like to have Mr. Camargo come before us.
Could I have a question from the
Absolutely.
chair, please?
Sure.
Mr. Lima,
Just wait a moment.
you transferred your license to Mr. Camargo?
You cannot transfer a license,
No, I know,
madam.
that's what I'm asking him. Mr. Camargo is working under your license, is that correct?
The whole idea, man, was for them to buy the corporation.
Okay.
The license is under the corporation.
Okay.
Okay, so that's when we start to work on this deal back in June last year. Okay, we work in June. One of the partners from Mr. Camargo, Mr. Amso, has been working for me for over a year. He was in that, and then he, with Mr. Camargo, got together and decided to run a dealer by themselves. I was already in plans to get out of this business. I have a different
No,
idea.
I understand
Yeah.
that. So basically, Mr. Camargo and another employee of yours were working under your license.
They was working for me under
They're
my
working
license.
for you under your license.
Yes.
So this item 2 that's on our agenda right now, you don't need this license anymore.
No, man, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Counselor Capone?
Will we be excused, the customary thanks?
If you could please be excused and stay in the audience,
Thank you.
please.
If we could please have Mr. Camargo before us?
Mr. Camargo? Please state your name.
Yeah, Jose,
You can sit down.
Pull that chair.
I have a pull a chair over. Yes.
Right there. Yeah, that's okay.
Please sit down and speak into the mic and state your name and address for the record. Your name and address.
ese es car leader.
El nombre y la dirección.
Your name
Oh, my name, Jose Camargo.
and
The
your
a-
address.
And your
the phone
address where
address?
you live.
Residential address.
Okay, 70 Proctor Avenue in Revere.
Okay, and Mrs.,
Karen Camargo, 70 Proctor Avenue, Revere.
thank you. Counselor Capone?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Through you to Mr. Camargo. You heard what was stated here by the property owner and by the former Mr. Lima. And at this present time, you have a lease arrangement with Mr. Vigorito?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. And Mr. Lima said that you, and your organization and his organization have an agreement to purchase the assets of the business. Is that accurate?
Yeah,
Okay. It's your intention to operate at this location under this license?
yeah, yeah.
And where we have one of the business assets to be transferred is the license to operate. If we were to award you a license this evening, thereby nullifying the need to renew the license to Mr. Lima, would that change the amount of the transaction between the two of you, or would that stay the same?
One second. Yeah, 1 second.
You mean the money?
Yes.
Contract.
Si ellos habría alguna diferencia si le transfieren o si le dan una nueva licencia o va a quedar todo igual.
No, todo igual.
He said it's not going to be a difference of money. I mean, if he gets a new license, it's going to be a difference. But if it's a renewal, it's going to be they have to pay to Mr.
Not
Lima.
the same.
Okay, that's my concern, because you have whatever transaction you have between the two of you. Mr. Lima was here, and he said that the amount stays the same. And if you feel that the amount stays the same, then from a board's perspective, we don't have an issue. We issue you the license. You have your separate arrangement between the two of you. You've got the owner of the property that has the lease with you, and everybody's happy. But if we issue a license to you, instead of issuing a license to Mr. Lima that then transfers to you, if that changes your contractual arrangement, that complicates things from our perspective. So that's what I want to understand. I want to understand if it's the same transaction monetarily, or does that change?
Si a usted le dan la licencia hoy, el trato entre el señor Lima y usted va a quedar exactamente igual
Sí, no,
o va a
igual.
cambiar.
No, igual.
Oh, clearly it's going to stay the same.
Everything stays the
Yeah,
same?
it's going to stay the same.
Okay. I don't have any other questions, but, you know, if my colleagues do, I'll relinquish. But it appears that if we vote favorably on the first one, the second one is no longer necessary, and we could get rid of that. But I'll relinquish the floor to my colleagues.
Any other questions? Counselor Hanlon?
Yeah, I'm just getting confused with the arrangement part of whatever's going on. Can you tell me exactly what the arrangements are? I know that he said the desks and the furniture and something
Que
else.
si por
but,
favor, sorry.
What exactly are the arrangements? I don't know what they are.
Que si por favor le puede decir exactamente cuál es el trato entre usted y el señor Lima en estos momentos.
Una amistad normal.
No, 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 el trato entre la venta del negocio. Entre la venta del negocio, ¿cuál es el trato?
No, si te pone un agreement donde él me iba a pasar el negocio a mí, solamente las cosas que estaban en el negocio.
Lo de dentro del
Sí,
negocio.
solamente.
The agreement right now is that everything's gonna stay exactly the same inside the dealership. Like, he's gonna, like, transfer
cool.
all the assets to him, exactly how they are.
Is there a price for each one of these things?
¿Hay algún precio por estas cosas?
No, no, no.
No.
I'm interested to find out if Mr. Lima is going to get anything other than this here, so that when you sell an automobile, I mean, because this has happened before, when you sell an automobile, is he gonna get 5% of the sale, or any kind of monetary reward at all for you selling an automobile?
Después de que usted agarra la licencia, después de que usted venda algún carro, ¿el señor Lima va a agarrar algún porcentaje de lo
No,
que
no,
usted
no,
venda
no,
algún
no,
carro?
no.
Yeah, we have to make sure one is gone and one is here. We don't want, you know.
No, no,
Él
no.
quiere estar seguro de que cuando él salga uno, va a entrar usted
Ok,
completamente.
no, no, no.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? You understand everything that's happening here? That-
Entiende completamente
Sí.
lo que está pasando.
Okay, thank you. Excuse the customary thanks, but we're not gonna be voting on this until 7 o'clock tonight when our regular meeting starts. So it's gonna go out either favorable or unfavorable over here, but then at 7 o'clock, our regular council meeting meets, and that's when the whole board votes, okay? So you can
May-
have a seat, and thank you.
May I?
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, I move favorable action, we recommend now favorable action to the body on item number 1.
Second motion.
Excuse me, on the motion, if you don't mind me asking a question. Mr. Lima said that he doesn't need the license anymore on item number 2.
Correct.
Okay. Are we gonna have him sign something
That's-
stating that
so-
he's
so that,
withdrawing this
if I
motion?
could, I prefer to have it in writing that he is relinquishing the license.
That's what I'm
And I will
asking.
notarize it in front of me.
So if we could
Even though he
excuse-
said it on camera, I still prefer to have it written, if
So
that's okay with the
So if you
body.
can excuse the assistant city
And-
clerk, go downstairs and put it in
And may I
writing?
also, I'm sorry to interject, we're issuing a new license. We know, as you know, I've been going out a lot and inspecting them. We have a lot of issues with our motor dealers, overcrowding the lots and parking cars on the streets. I want to make sure that the new licensee understands that you're the licensing authority. I also have authority to find them, and I actively work with every motor dealer, especially the new ones, because it seems to me they get a license from you and forget the rules the day after. That we make sure, and I am going to make sure that they follow the rules 100%. However many cars they have, they're not going to have one more unless I say, or you as the body say. I just thought I mentioned that, so it's reiterated from the board, not myself, because you're the licensing authority. I'm just your
You could also let them
agent.
understand that we can take the license away anytime.
Correct, that's
Okay.
what I just wanted to, I thought it'd be good to make that statement at the committee meeting, rather at a regular meeting.
All right, so you're gonna go downstairs? I'm sorry, Madam Chairman.
So, Counselor, to me, this is my opinion, and I'll take your recommendations, but to me, I don't feel comfortable voting on number 1 unless I have a resignation from item number 2, a letter in writing stating that he does no longer need the license, because this seems to be an argument in between both of them, or whatever it is. I think it's, after this, it's out of our hands.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay?
if you wish, we can amend that contingent upon written release of the request
Written
from
release to
Mr.
be here
Lima.
at 7 o'clock for the
You
7
c- you
o'clock
c-
meeting.
yeah.
So moved. All in favor? All opposed? The ayes have it.
Now, did that also
Make a
take
motion.
care of item number 2? Did we just take care of item number 2 also?
We just denied.
Oh, I'm sorry. Item number 2 is,
Just,
it's gonna
re-
become null and
vote no-
void.
With no recommendation.
Yeah, no
So-
action necessary, yep,
No recommendation. No action taken.
so moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
Move for adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn. Adjourn, all in
Where is
favor?
this
All
coming up?
opposed? You have adjourned.
Where's this coming up in here? Right here, right here, right here, right here, right here.